Good morning, y'all. Today is Tuesday, August 16th. I'm coming to you live from the world headquarters of the Restaurant Boss just outside Austin, Texas. I'm in Georgetown, Texas right now, and I'm about to fly that airplane up to do a presentation in Temple, Texas, to a group of bowling center owners about improving their food and beverage operations and profitability. I'll tell you more about that presentation coming up here right now.
Hey everybody, Ryan Gronfin here with the Restaurant Boss. I'm back in my office a couple days after my trip up to Temple to do that financial presentation for some bowling center owners. It went great. I hope you had a little bit of fun kind of seeing a day in the life of me and some of the fun I get to have with this incredible job I get to do. Before we get into kind of talking about what we spoke about and my biggest takeaway in that presentation, I want to quickly cut to this clip that I filmed once I landed in Temple, Texas. So take a look at that, and then we'll talk about the financial controls presentation that I gave.
So on a side note, restaurant owners and operators, one, get out there and talk to people. I literally just landed at Temple, and I spoke to the airport manager. We were just having a conversation. And it turns out they're building a new facility over there, and this old facility they're going to turn into a restaurant. And they want a consultant to come on and speak to the city council about what a restaurant like this could do, what it would take to turn it into a restaurant, and to kind of develop a concept and some menus. They need help with jet catering, which I have a lot of experience in, so I can put together some menus for that. So I literally, flying to a job, picked up another great job. Obviously we still have to negotiate, but looks like I have a consulting job. Now, go out and talk to people. Second thing, I'll put together a training if you're interested. Comment below. I'll put out a training and teach you how to execute and how to handle, how to get jet catering, private jet catering. If you live near a small airport, you should have a contract with the jet center, the local FBO, it's called the fixed-based operation, where they'll call you and ask you to do anything from hamburgers and salads to filet mignons and lobsters, and they will pay top dollar if you know how to properly handle jet caterings. It was a great business. We used to do a ton of it when we were in California. So if you're interested in learning how to do that, put a comment below and I'll put together training for you.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. And again, like I said, comment below if you want to learn more about the Jet Center catering. I'll be happy to put together a presentation for you on that. But let's talk about financials for a second. This is a presentation that I've been doing for probably 5 or 6 years, kind of understanding your numbers in your restaurant. I've been delivering it to bowling center owners and to restaurant owners and presentations all over the country. And I tweak it. The presentation gets better every time. But every time I go through it like a week before, I always worry that it's not high enough level. It's not the secrets, the ninja tricks that nobody knows that they're expecting to learn. And so then I add something to it, or I freak myself out, but I always have to remind myself it's about the basics. And then the night before I freak out, and then the morning of I freak out. And then during the presentation I freak out that it's too basic. And then usually about 10 minutes into the presentation, I realize that what I'm teaching is exactly what the audience needs. It's exactly where it needs to be. Yes, it's the basics. It's the things that we all say we know, but when I start asking questions, when I start asking the audience to do math, I start to realize where the average everyday restaurant owner is on understanding financials. Now, I hope you don't take any personal offense to this. This may not be you. It may be you. It may not be the people in the audience. It may be them, but the point I'm making is if you want to improve the finances in your restaurant, you got to get your hands dirty. You got to get into it. You got to understand the basics. I speak to too many restaurant owners who say that they have a bookkeeper for that. And when I ask what their food cost is, they're like, I don't know. Let me go check my books. And then they go check their books from 3 months ago. And they're like, it says that my food cost is 44%. I'm like, well, what does that include? They're like, I don't know. And then I look at their P&L, and their P&L is not even set up properly to get them a food cost. And then I ask them more questions. And again, they don't know. And so I don't need you to be your own bookkeeper. I don't need you to be an expert, but I need you to get involved. I need you to know that chemicals are a direct operating expense. I need you to know that utilities are just a non-controllable expense. I need you to know where to categorize limes and lemons. Do they go to the bar? Do they go to liquor? Or do they go to food? Well, if you sell liquor, maybe they go to liquor. But if you also use lime and lemon juice in your food, like a Mexican restaurant, well, they might also go to food and margaritas. So do we do 50-50? Do we put it in food because it comes from Cisco? Do we put it in liquor? Like, what do we do with that? If you own a coffee shop and you want a coffee cost, if you want to know what your coffee cost of goods sold is, your coffee cost, well, coffee beans are easy, grounds are easy, but what about milk, cream, and sugar? Well, that's fine if all you are is a coffee shop, but if you also make muffins and scones and cookies, well, then doesn't some of your milk, cream, and sugar go into those, right? So we have to know that labor doesn't get included in cost of goods sold and plate cost, and we have to know that that utilities aren't part of food cost. We have to know this stuff, and we have to know what to do with discounts and what to do with DoorDash expenses. We can't just trust that our bookkeepers know what to do. And so what I'm asking from you is get involved, ask questions, learn a little bit more, jump on a strategy session with me. Let's do a deep dive into your P&L. Let's get a BACON account set up for you and do a deep dive during that BACON account setup. And then let's start getting you some real numbers, some numbers beyond your P&L, some numbers that are actually going to help you operate your restaurant. Get on the phone with your bookkeeper, learn a little bit more. You know, the questions I get asked always are, well, how do I lower my waste? I know we have a lot of waste. Should I be using waste sheets? Yes, you should be using waste sheets, but waste sheets don't lower your waste. What lowers your waste is you spending more time in the kitchen, receiving, watching them prep, watching how they store food, watching what's going on, developing systems and processes to lower waste. Well, how do I control my food costs? Well, you control your food costs by being involved in the menu design, the selling of the menu, right? The scripts that we use, the ordering of the food, the delivering of the food, negotiating of the prices with the food. And again, I know this sounds basic. I know you're going to sit here and say, well, I'm doing all that. But the question is, are you really doing all that? Like, are you there? We can't improve our numbers from the office. The office is where we get the data. And then we have to know how to interpolate that data, how to look at that data. We have to know what actions to take to fix that. And the way we do that is get in our kitchen, get in our dining rooms, get in the back of the house, start getting involved in that a little bit more. So again, I guess what I'm trying to say here is it's important to understand your financials beyond the level of I have someone who does financials for me. I'm happy to help with any questions that you have. We do a twice a month, we do a financial call. You can learn about that if you go to clickBACON.com. I think somewhere at the top is presentations or training or webinars or something, and we list dates. But this is open to the public. Anyone can come in to join in our financial question and answer, and I can get a lot of questions answered there. Or if you want to go a little deeper, go to therestaurantboss.com and schedule a strategy session with us, or shoot us an email at support@therestaurantboss.com, or comment below and give us your email address and we'll reach out to you to schedule some time, or send us a copy of your P&L statement. Ask us some questions, support@therestaurantboss.com. We're here to help you. So I hope you enjoyed this week's video, and I hope it was a lot of fun for you. And again, let us know what we can do to help you. Remember, systems create freedom. Freedom creates value. Value creates scale. Have an absolutely amazing day. I love every single one of you crazy restaurant people. Bye-bye.
Make It Happen is the book I wish I had when I was operating restaurants. Inside are the lessons that took me 10 years to learn and 10 more years of teaching to perfect. I've condensed the most important lessons into this tiny book for building a big restaurant business. I am on a mission to improve restaurants all over the world. Because of that, I want to send you a free copy. Grab yours today at therestaurantboss.com.